Alright, what's up you guys? It's your boy, Justin Passetti, back again with another Work Experience Wednesday, and honestly, I haven't done this segment in a really hot minute, so I do apologize in advance for that, but it's really hard finding certain topics, especially when you have my Monday and Friday segments going on. But no, I'm just really happy being back on this segment on Wednesday. So today's topic is what it's like being a male nurse. I guess that whole perspective, the pros and cons. But before we go on with those segments, just a friendly reminder to please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help on my YouTube channel, puts my YouTube videos out there, and also helps you find content that you would like to see in the near future. And also don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, all at Justin Passetti. I post a lot more on Instagram, so definitely give me a holler on Instagram if you have any other questions about any other of my segments. Going back to the pros and cons of what it's like being a male nurse. So I guess to start off with, we'll go with the bad and then go on with the good, just because I feel like it's better to end on a good note rather than a bad note. And honestly, the cons list isn't really a cons list in my opinion. There's just like literally a couple things, like 2 things on the list that I can really think of, like from the top of my head, just to say like what nursing is kind of hard for male nurses. And honestly, one of them is just being mistaken as a doctor, like fairly often. And it's usually when you get mistaken by a doctor, it's usually the OGs, like the older population generation patients. So you're like geriatric patients are the ones that sometimes confuse, because you know, a couple of decades ago, the field of nursing was predominantly women. And honestly, I think as of right now, I think it's about like, I know it may not seem like a lot, but like 9% of the nurses are males. And then that's like a huge jump. I think like back in the 70s or something like that, it was definitely a lower number. I don't exactly remember what, but I'll put like a quick statistic, like boom, like right there, hold you guys like to see that for a quick second. Honestly, being mistaken as a doctor isn't really like an insult or anything. I feel like more people nowadays, it's 2021, people are more accepting about certain things, so it's like not the worst thing possible. And then the second thing that I can really think of is being called a Murse. And honestly, it's not even an insult either. It's not the worst thing possible. If anything, it's just another hashtag on Instagram when you're making your post. So honestly, those are the only 2 things I could really think of when it comes to being a male nurse. Or I guess the third thing, when you have like a female patient, they would like to have a female like nurse. I guess it's sometimes depending on a certain assignments where they couldn't switch it for whatever reason, but I guess it may be hard in those scenarios. But for the most part, your coworkers are going to be understanding, and it shouldn't be like too complicated. Honestly, also, if that's a huge problem, you guys should just switch assignments, or like, talk to the charge and see how that goes. And honestly, those are the only 3 things I could really think of when it comes to being like cons in nursing for males. But now we go on to the pros. There's like a decent amount, because honestly, nursing is like rewarding in itself, especially when you see patients that are recovering and getting better and then going home. It's definitely a self-fulfilling job, and then it always puts a smile on my face when you're doing all the hard work that you can. And then honestly, the most warming thing that anyone can really say to you, especially when it comes to a patient, is thank you. I don't need any other thing like monetary, like from like anything else. No, just when you hear a simple thank you and you can see it in their eyes and they mean it, and then you just understand that there's just like a spiritual like vibe that you just know, be like, yeah, you're welcome. And of course, and it brings like a fulfilling soul type of moment. I don't know, like a whole bunch of movie type of thing. But like if you're working in nursing, you definitely understand those type of moments and those situations. If you're new to nursing, or if you're a nurse's aide, hopefully you guys like see those moments, or you understand those moments soon, because honestly, it just makes life a lot more better. Is that English? No, I don't know. Make life a lot better. Let's go with that. Because you're knowing that you're doing something positive and making a difference in someone's life. So that's the whole one like pro of it also. And then it's really nice because when you're meeting someone new, or like friends at a party, or like you're going out to like a family event, that you're meeting more people, and people ask you what you do and you say that you're a nurse, honestly, soft flex. Definitely a soft flex, because what is they're going to ask you like what type of stories that you've encountered or experiences, and if you've worked for a decent amount of time, for a couple years at least, you got some stories. Practice and rehearse, not because you look in the mirror and practice it in your spare time, but because everyone always asks you those type of stories, and you got that stuff practiced, and you know what it's going to sound like, so you are ready for those responses. And it's honestly really nice spreading those type of stories and then putting a perspective on your own career onto other people who may not work in healthcare. So it's definitely really cool telling those stories all the time. And then other pro is that if you're straight, you're surrounded by women. It's really like, you're trying to meet someone new. There's always like people that are around your age for the most part. So definitely like another flex when it comes to saying that you are a male nurse. If you're not straight, there's always other, other nurses, other respiratory therapists, doctors who are also inclined in that other sexual orientation. So honestly, like it goes either way, but especially, if you are straight, you can possibly meet other women that are also single, because dating life is hard, especially coming out of 2020. I know that's probably the hardest time, especially for people who are in that dating age, who are surrounded in those like type of like population of women and who are also single, and they also have the same career as you, so they totally understand what's going on. Not only that, but you also meet like great people throughout the process of nursing, not only like coworkers, doctors, or respiratory therapists, but you also meet amazing people. When you have like older patients, you have the best opportunity to like have a conversation with them if you have time, and you are going to be amazed at what people have done in their lifetimes. Like I'll never forget him. He was like 102 years old, and he was honestly like totally like, you would think that they would need assistance or anything like that, but no, the man was so independent. Of course you're going to be a little slower when you're 102, but being able to put on your own shoes, your own pants, shirt, those type of things that we take for granted at our current age. But when you're older, you think you might need some assistance, but being able to do that at 102 is just amazing. And then the stories that he's able to remember and tell is just something that you'll never forget. And then those are things that you just appreciate more when it comes to the occupation. And then also, not only that, but I guess also in certain situations when it comes to difficult patients, I guess you could have, one of your situations, but being a male figure, sometimes, I know, just being a male figure in certain situations makes a huge difference, especially when you have a non-compliant patient or a combative patient. It's just like being a male figure in the room, they somehow just like cooperate. It kind of doesn't really make sense all the time, but it happens. It works. It calms the situation down. Surprisingly, I know, right? But even though I'm a short guy. I'm only like 5'4", but I guess I make a difference by just being in a room and being a guy. Not the most intimidating person. If anything, I still look like a kid, but I guess I make somehow a difference being a male figure in a room. And honestly, those are like the main things when it comes to being a male nurse. There's a lot of pros, and if you think about it, the cons that I listed earlier in the beginning of the video aren't really cons. They're just like old ideas that were like back in the day when people had different ideas of males being only doctors and so on and so forth. But for the most part, nursing is definitely like a great career to have being a male. You definitely have a lot of opportunities in like education, and then meeting new people, and then also telling your own stories and experiences to other people who are not working in your like own career field. But yeah, those are the only type of things I can think of from the top of my head very quickly. So just want to say, if you thought this video was helpful or education, you learned a little something today, definitely hit that like and subscribe button, or put your thoughts down in the comment section below if you'd like to have me cover any other type of nursing topics that you have, but I will cover in the near future after you comment down below. And also don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, all at Justin Passetti. I post a lot more on Instagram in regards to all my other YouTube videos, so if you have any questions about this segment or my other segments throughout the week, definitely give me a holler on Instagram. But that's all I have for this Work Experience Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, but it is your boy Justin Passetti, so try to keep up. Alright, deuces.